All right, Mike. Let's get it. All right, man. So to the right of me, man, I got a comedian slash podcaster, right? Mr. Tommy Archer. How you doing?
I'm all right. What's up, Killer? How you doing today?
Round of applause for Tommy coming through. You know what I'm saying? Before we get into it, I actually had a conversation about you recently. Might have been with Slim, I'm not sure. And I said, we always talk everybody podcast and what we think and this, that, and third. And I think you dropped him and Big Keens. I was watching that.
Late, but never late.
Hey, man, I just watch, man. I don't even know when they drop, supposed to drop. I just watch it and enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
But I was talking, and everybody got their own idea, because you speak to me, you speak to Slim, about some you feel like you struggling with or whatever, and we all do it with each other for the most part. It's a community. It's almost like comedy for the sort of sense, I would think. Maybe not, I don't know. We'll get into that later. But I know for me, I said, I think it might be. I think it's hard, and you let me know if I'm tripping or if you think it's off, but is it hard to have 2 feet into different arenas?
Oh, yeah.
Meaning, like, I feel like you take podcasting seriously. I know you take it seriously. Only because I see the money and the time you invest in it, for one. And then I know you take comedy serious, but that's also a love you have for comedy.
Yes.
And I wonder how hard is it to be navigating both at the same time and trying to have 2 feet into 2 totally different arenas. Because whereas podcasting, you can be funny and it can be comical, it's not stand-up comedy. It's not comedy, you know? Mm-hmm. And you have to approach both very different. One, you got a guest, like we right here, it's just us. The other, you might have a room full of 20 people, 200 people. You never know, you know? Yeah. And it's different, a different atmosphere. So talk a little about that. Like, am I off by saying that that's by a struggle you battling right now?
And it can be a kryptonite on the podcast at times, my comedy side. Because on the comedy side, we want to gravitate and get the attention of the crowd. In the podcast, I've had better podcasts realizing I don't have to talk that much.
Okay.
And to find my moments. That difference it's just like, you see the struggles of trying to keep the home life right, do what your passion is, still do work. So in the same struggles with that, trying to find time, but it's different conversational and approaches with 100%. And then you have different lanes in comedy that also you can see and like take from the podcast. Like I do find bits. I do think finding ideas or premises is technically a simple way of hosting. Mm-hmm. I am a host on the podcast, so I am always trying to produce these different, crazy, unique episodes. But it's not, you're not engaging with a crowd. You don't know if it's really funny or not. You're only engaging with that one person, so it's not food for thought. It's just an opinion and an idea still at that point. When you talk about taking it from the podcast to stage.
Right.
So,
but I know, like, when I'm thinking struggling, I'm also thinking in the sense of, and I could be thinking too dimensional, but I'm thinking in the sense of you're learning yourself in both arenas.
Oh, yeah.
You're learning what kind of podcaster you need to be or want to be or should be what fits your niche. But then also in comedy, you're trying to hone a certain type of comedy you know that you want to produce, you want to give to the people. And when those 2 roles meet, what do you do then? Like, or do you know what to do when them 2 roles meet, or do you like break down?
If I'm understanding right, I would say it's like I want to bring my comedy to the podcast, but I definitely see my full comedy will cripple any monetization, a lot of more, you got people that look at my comedy as very disrespectful and unruly.
Okay.
So it hinders me from being able to develop an idea I have for the podcast, but it also is a struggle just trying to find things to talk about because it is different with. Like, I observe you have a conversation on your podcast. I see how you narrate. You have a directive. You're consistent. You're driving that conversation. In comedy, I can feel it where I want to make these pauses for comedic gesture, not for the moment, not for my time to sit back. So it's challenging to keep those 2 separate, if I'm honest, if that can make sense.
Somewhat. I'm not a comedian, so it's hard. Yeah. But I also feel like I want to say things, but then I think back to the fact that I don't do comedy. So whereas I might say something to you like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? And it sounds great from a novice or somebody who's never done it to say that. But you being on that stage week in, week out, knowing like, hey, it's not as simple as you make it seem. Because I as you were saying, I'm like, yeah, but it's your stage up there. But maybe it's not your stage up there sometimes.
But it's like I had
or do you have to get to a certain level to where when you step on stage, it's your stage? How much of it is like the level you at, confidence-wise and comedic wise, or how much of it just is the crowd is just the crowd? It might be your night, might not be your night.
I'll answer that. I am a amateur comedian. I understand where I feel comfortable at my level with what I can produce. That's the honesty to the craft. I think that when you look at comedians that produce and take control of the crowd with confidence on a consistent basis, that it doesn't matter the crowd, that's the goal. When you're building a personality, when you're trying to find jokes to fit a set, to build that constant return of work that you get to produce at each show. Maybe it's the same set, maybe it's the same 5-10 minutes, but it produces and it gets the crowd on a universal level. That's the goal. Getting to those points are more challenging than what we see, because that personality you build, you don't know what it's going to become, because you don't know what's too far. You don't know what isn't a joke yet. You might think it's funny, but when you get on stage, it's not the same game. I hope that's the best way I can answer it, because I'm still an amateur. I don't know all. I'm not. But you've
been in front of different crowds.
I have.
So I'm pretty sure you've done a bit. I got that word from you. I don't know what a bit means. I think it means like a set. I guess I don't know. But you've done a bit where you've been in front of one crowd and they received it very well, and you've been in another crowd and you're like, maybe it's not as funny as I thought it was.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's like this. I know that I was telling you earlier, I got a Black Balls bit, right? And that crowd, that joke works. It has its bad nights on my account by not being a productive comedian and doing the right work. But when it works and I do my job, usually it works. I've had an older black crowd not like that joke, took me off stage. I was in an all-white crowd and had a bit about my son getting a spelling bee and getting the word niggas, Negus, and I pronounce it nothing but crickets. They didn't like my...
So yeah, I feel like it's pronounced niggas though, but...
Yeah, but that's the...
Oh, comedy.
That's the bit. Like my accent, if I take it too far, if I don't say it, like you get those responses of a wow and awe. I look for those moments. But sometimes the crowd don't want to hear that shit. Sometimes they looking for the joke only.
So did you have to get off the stage after that? Or like, what was it like?
Oh, the older black crowd? Yeah. Yeah. Once I got past the Black Balls and I tried to add a little more onto it, it was over.
Like, I guess I want to talk about Reading the Room real quick. Like,
yeah, Reading the Room was a bad night for me. Reading the Room.
So, like, what about that room made you say, well, let me try the Negus joke now?
Because I think
if they didn't receive the Black Balls joke, well, you said, y'all don't like balls.
Two separate rooms. Two separate rooms. One was a majority older black crowd, was the Black Balls bit, and then
two separate blacks.
Nope. The Negus joke was in an all white crowd. Actually, comedian Cedric was there for it. He loved the bit, but it wasn't received well. And it's reading that crowd is important. Reading what they're receiving is important. Again, like I've talked about before with you, we all got our own style of comedy. You know, it's okay. Like Black the Handicap Camp come in singing with one arm, looking like, one of those floaties out on the car lot. Like he don't care.
How much though? It's just me asking.
What?
I like him. How much does the one arm play? Has he bombed? Has he ever got booed? Can you boo a guy with one arm? Like, would you feel you Tommy? Like, would you feel comfortable booing a guy with one arm?
Yeah. I criticize him all the time about it.
So do you think he gets like a one up? Oh, it sounds crazy saying that.
A one up because of it?
I guess it's not a one up.
God gave him a blessed hand for it.
Yo, you gotta relax.
I always tell him, man. I'd make some sort of jet, but he's good. He's a great. He's
funny though.
He's funny.
Yeah.
He has his own. It's his comedy. You know what I mean?
Well, so I do want to talk comedy. I just want to talk comedy really, because it's something that I did think about. I want to be a comedian. I don't know if I want to be a comedian, but I do think I'm funny. But once again, in my area, It's fine to be funny. It sounds funny to me because it's just me. Ha ha! I hit the button and this.
Yeah.
And it comes out beautiful on camera most times, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then I have a crowd, but it's the same crowd every week. It's my subscribers, people that want to watch me. They watch me. They
Yeah.
click play because they want to do it. You know, it's free. And so, yeah, I may come off funny to people like you or my subscriber or people that follow me. Who's to say if I'm going to be funny, right? Friday, 9:30 p.m. to a crowd that worked all week. They're here to see one person specifically. I'm the second, third, first guy on the thing, right? They don't have no joke. They don't have no laughs at me right now. I have to win those laughs over.
Well, that's the
Because
job.
they already tired.
That's the job. That's the job every time. That's why I say I'm not a feature or a headliner yet. My job is to continue to build a set that controls the crowd so that when I'm up at that position, when I'm building that second slot, when I've got that opportunity, somebody in that crowd is going to remember me. And that's what you want. You want to build that fan base, build that connection comically from the stage to the crowd of, even though that headliner came and done his thing, somebody in that motherfucker walked away remembering you, and you was only second in line. You was
How much of it is growth, learning, getting comfortable? How much of it is competition, being competitive? How much of it is really just going out there and just trying and seeing what happens and then trying to regroup from there for the next time you do open mic? Like what are the phases to this comedy, comedic stand up, open mic, live show, paid show type of deal? Like what's the stages? What's the phases?
I believe that it's different for each comedians, because I've met a lot of comedians that do shows that have only been doing it for 6 months. I've seen comedians be doing it for 3 years, seen them be doing it for 5, numerous numbers. Everybody does their own lane. When I'm called upon, I'll go. I haven't done but a handful of shows.
Why?
I personally tell myself it's because of my comedy. But I do believe I don't read the room well still. I do believe my lack of reps to be able to get my numbers up consistently, of being able to produce an 8-minute set consistently. Because the reps are important, at least for me as a comedian. Getting to be able to get on stage and get over those insecurities of talking to whoever's in front of you about what you want to say, and getting that repetition of what rhythm you want with what you're talking about, to me is important.
Can I ask you what you mean when you say insecurities?
You know me. I got ADHD. I'm cracked out sometimes. I gotta gather it, but when it's
But that's
that
not funny
performance-
to you. Like, can you
What?
not use that to be funny?
Oh, I do. I'm saying if I don't do my process to get on stage to be prepared for that 8, 10 minutes, whatever I'm given for a show, then I'm not going to be my best self. So that preparation and reps and all is important for me to be able to produce my train of thought to have the outcome. I don't want to go in thinking anything, if I'm honest. I don't go into the show thinking anything about my set. But I've prepared so much for that set, or at least those jokes, and that way I've got it written out to stagnate my punches. But
is that not backwards? I mean, I'm gonna keep saying that because I'm not. You're the comedian. I'm not a comedian. Right now, at least, right?
I want you to try it. I want him to try it. Y'all tell him.
But I am thinking.
Instigate.
I am thinking like. I look at anything art as comedy. Look at as art, comedy as a form of art, but I also look at things like I play sports, whatever. So certain things, you're saying reps, and I feel like reps make you better. Practice make perfect, right? So, like, why would a comedian not be doing reps weekly? And what I mean by reps, you don't have to be open mic all the time. I'm talking about in the break room at your job. I'm talking about in the kitchen with your family. I'm talking about like it's certain people when they go in certain rooms, like they just own the room.
Yes.
And I feel like those people also make great comedians because that comedian kind of owns the stage.
Yes. You got to have great confidence.
Do you own rooms when you walk in rooms?
I try to be as respectful in rooms as I can before I get to lay them on the stage.
But I know you got a certain type of comedy, but that's not the only thing that's funny. Are you just only that funny, or are you funny in other ways as well? Like could you do another kind of comedy?
Oh, well,
I know you don't want to, but could you do it? If somebody, so you do competitions, they say, hey, this is the topic, this is what it is, this is what you do.
No, I can't. I don't think I could do a full clean set for anyone.
Okay.
I don't think I am a diverse comedian. I think that I have Jules calls me the Bobby Lee of Augusta type of thing. Bobby Lee's a very provocative Chinese old fat guy
Okay.
that just is, will show his dick on stage. I'm not gonna go that far, but I will
Hope
bend
not.
over and like look through my legs and do Ace Ventura.
okay.
I will go extra if I get comfortable. But it's okay to be like I admire when you can do someone that can do clean comedy. I admire those. It's still challenges in front of me to accomplish. I don't mind my time frame of growth.
Right.
But
But
I'm also
you're
learning
satisfied
more.
though.
Yeah,
You're
'cause
satisfied with just what you're doing right now.
Well, this podcast has given me opportunities to talk to so many other comedians. There's one thing that I really took in from Cedric outside of the advice and the competitions we've done was you got to have a ones, twos, and threes. You want to get jokes that are ones that are killers. They're always going to be your top ones. But twos and threes, you got to figure out you got to figure out, is it going to get some meat or you got to cut some fat? How you going to make that into a one? And if it's a three and you don't think you can get it to a two, well, you might as well cut that three out the books and move on and find something else to put in place. All this is to say that's just set building. That's not saying like last night at the Fox Lair, we go to a premise-based competition and, I'm supposed to do 5 minutes, but I gave 3 solid good minutes. For me, not having reps, that 3 minutes of a premise that I never talked about before, that I never made jokes about, I had great crowd reaction. In a kryptonite of a stage for me that I don't do well in, the same place where I said the niggas joke. And
We say N-word, it's fine.
You see, it's funny though when you just cross almost there, ain't it?
It just sounds so much like it. I'm just like,
I try so hard, practice it for so long. It's crazy. Anyhow, but I did 3 minutes, and to the standard of the show, to the people that know me, that's been judges on the competition in the past, yada yada. It's disappointing, but I see the progress. I see I was able to get up there and improv 3 minutes of a subject I've never even thought about making a joke for.
Another question. You say in 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
People joke a lot about 3 minutes. A lot of 3 minute jokes. Sex jokes, whatever, right? Sometimes 3 minutes is a long time. I'm not making a sex joke now. I last a very long time. But I'm saying for somebody like you, how long is 3 minutes when you're on that stage?
It's a lot longer than you think. But see, that's the thing. Once you do in
Like
10 minutes 10 minutes can mellow out. But 5 minutes can go by quick if you're doing great and you're in a flow.
But see, you tell me, you said, well, just go do 5 minutes somewhere, right? And you tell me 3 minutes is a long time.
Yeah.
But now you want me to do 5? Why would I just do 3?
Well, this is where reps come in play. That's where reps come in for me, at least.
So what? Why I want to do stand tomorrow, right? I want to do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
What do you tell me? Like, how do I make? Like, I don't have no set, nothing yet. I got things I think about that's funny, but I don't have no set, right?
I would tell you to go in open minded and do and approach it with an open mind and a clear mind to just be funny. I wouldn't even take like my first time. I watched, shout out to HP the Great. He had been doing comedy the first couple months, and he's like, try it. So I wrote out what I thought was 10 minutes they were giving us. Man, I rambled off 10 minutes worth of material. It wasn't even jokes. I say material because it's just scribble scrabble on paper in like 4 minutes.
Cause you just kind of
because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just
no crowd control.
Yeah, no nothing.
Stuff.
I'm not pausing for nothing.
So I went to 2 different shows in the last week.
Yeah.
So clap it up for me.
Stepping out the house.
I went to EJ's birthday party show, birthday
Shout
bash
out.
show, and then I went to Cedric's show the next following week, which also was his birthday, right?
Yep, birthday.
Very
after
strange.
birthday.
Same
Shout out
signs.
to
That's
Sid.
another story. And I walked away from both of them thinking 2 totally different things, right? I think EJ's talent. I walked away from his show feeling like I can do that.
Yeah,
I know he's talented, but I just felt like he made me. I can do that.
yeah.
Then I walked away from Cedric's, and it wasn't just Cedric. It was Cedric, who was just a host.
Yeah.
It was a headliner there who got 10 plus of years of
I think
comedy.
it's Tyrone.
Yes, he won Comedian of the Year 2 times in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And then it was a guy named
Eric
Eric Bailey,
out of Savannah.
white guy.
White guy.
Didn't get the reaction he wanted, but he was very funny, I thought. I look at what they do great, and he did great things great. Anyway, so I'm watching this. I'm tired as hell. I'm watching this. I'm like, okay. It's not as easy as I think it is. And I said it because I know that Eric is funny. I can see it in him. I can see it in his walk. I can see it in his confidence on stage. All his jokes didn't hit. It wasn't all funny, like, oh, haha. But I laughed at a lot of them that people didn't laugh at. I thought it was hilarious. Like, oh, this is funny. Why am I laughing? But I started looking around the room and say, oh, okay, I get it. It's Friday. We started late. They're tired. They're not even reacting to the music at this point. They just like, you see the husband's like, all right now.
Yeah.
They got just enough energy to make tonight a good night.
Yeah.
So they saving it for that, right?
Hey.
And I start thinking like, yo, it's a struggle. We look at comedians like, okay, well, you need to come and be funny. And that's just like a very minuscule part of the comedian set. It's so artistic that you have to think about the crowd control, the laughs, how to mellow it out. You got 10, 15 minutes set, how to let it go, what jokes to use, what jokes not to
Bailey,
use.
I didn't get to go to the said show, but how you saying with him, he didn't have great reaction. It takes a lot just to continue to follow through with your set if you're not getting what you want. That's confidence and practice. Because you can fall off and lose the whole situation because you don't know where to go next because of the crowd.
But let me tell you why I thought he was a good comedian, rather. It was something he was doing that I thought was genius. And I think everybody should have this. He said something, he's like, he started off this way. He's like, how, some people just, they don't have nothing to tell you, so they just start rambling off things that they great at. I just came from doing the show, right? And that's how he started off. So he goes to the thing. And then the first time somebody laughed at a joke, he was like, yeah, so, I just came from doing the show, and like, it was funny, like how he said it every time. Every 3-4 minutes, he threw that in there. Mm-hmm. And it was just funny because it brought you back. Okay, he is funny. And I thought that was genius to do because like he knew it was going to be some dry spots there. He knew the crowd wasn't really kind of into it. But he used that one joke to kind of get him through the rest. And that one was like, I guess it's 2, or I guess I don't know, which was number 1,
well,
2,
I don't
3.
know. It each his own different. It ain't my judge on that.
But the reaction told me it was a 2.
Yeah.
Because every time he said it, we chuckled and kind of came back.
Well, that may be a 1 then in his mind to where something he can pull in and grab the crowd with. Because
it worked the first 2 times. The third time it didn't work though. But the first time it worked.
Some of those things, it just depends on, there's so many ways to do a set. No one should be talking about the same shit. If you're wanting to build a good set, it's got to be unique. And that's one thing I've always admired when it comes to doing comedies. I take a lot of passion and being as unique and out there as possible.
And this is comedy shows, right?
Yeah, comedy shows, and even in open mics. I don't want to say the same shit, the same jokes.
How important is it as far as the order in which you go, 1, 2, whoever's hosting? How important are those factors?
I think you got to have a good host.
Is that good or bad though?
A good host?
Yes.
I think if you're going to,
how good should the host be? Let's just start there.
Well, I think your host should be it's a good portion of your show. You got to think about it. If you got, let's say you do a 5 and 10 minute opener, a 10, 15 minute second slot, and you got a feature and a headliner. You're looking at a 2-hour show, but the host is still going to consume 45 minutes of that time. So you want them to be able to have the potential to save whatever comedian don't bring their A game if necessary. If the shit is flat, they got to be able to bring it back up. That's a different challenge of comedy. Because you might get to say some bits here and there, but if your bits don't work, you add into the downfall of the outcome of the show. You got to be able to bring it back up for that next comedian to get his momentum going. So hosting it to me is one of the most important things for a show. And I think it does matter what comedians you have, because I think it is important to, I could say some shit that would go in behind people and we would not have a show after that, or it would be very hard for them to, it had to be good comedians to follow me just to bring the energy back because I done crossed the line so far.
Well, I asked that question because I'm thinking of a full show.
Yeah.
And maybe a comedian feels more comfortable or has more confidence or whatever, feels better going on stage when a host isn't as funny.
Yeah.
And they feel like they can bring it back or they can liven up the crowd, right? But then you have a comedian who is killing the crowd and you come in and you feel like, okay, damn, I got to follow this up and he's just a host.
But that's also a good thing. I think that's also...
What's good about it? I'm just curious.
Building your character on stage.
Thoughts. Okay.
I think it's good at building our competitiveness to be able to see what the standard of a good performance, good hosting should be. I think if you get insecure about someone else in those spots, you really need to look at where you need to improve at then. I look at, speaking of Sir Cedric from doing these competitions, I'm not going to host yet. I want someone to coach me on the host because that's a lane I don't feel comfortable with because I don't want to ruin a show. And sad part, the difference in doing a set and the hosting as well, you also have to keep up the spot of representing the place you're in, the time that's going on. Remember they got food and what menu. You got to remember to shout out the bartender. You got all these things you're supposed to do as a proper host that contributes to information to the show. So it's, you got to work your levels to get there. But if you don't have a good host, I feel like you're going to have you're not going to you might have the opportunity where you don't have a good turnout as you could have from the comedians wise. Because I want to come in with the crowd excited to see something. They ain't got to be excited to see me, but something.
Well, you said that. I'm curious now, how much of in comedy is putting your ego aside? Like how detrimental can that be? Not putting it to the side. Do you need to check your ego before each show? Should you have an ego in comedy? Like talk about the real issues that are amongst comedians.
I heard Eric Bailey at a live laugh a couple months ago, and I was like, damn, I got to be the cracker that beats this cracker. Like I got to be funnier than this cracker.
He's a funny cracker.
He's a funny cracker.
He's a funny cracker.
Right? So it's like, I know some of the white dudes here. So when I look at it, it's like, I want to be the funniest white dude in the room. If I could, that's my goal. I can't compete with a more, the culture I'm performing in. I can't compete in that type, but I can be the funniest white guy. I can do that lane. And if I can, my goal's my goal. But at the same time, you look at all this shit, man, it's hard to find what your personality is going to be. You don't know where it's going to take you or where you might look at these jokes later and be like, I got to get rid of it. Like I was talking about my milk cricket comments is I got to make it better impact on that line if it feels worth it anymore. Because now I'm just crossing jabs at white folks for what? Just to make me laugh? That ain't helping my return from the crowd.
How many funny white guys you think there are around here? Like that. I mean, I'm trying to figure out like where you at with your goal of being the funniest white guy.
There's a lot of comedians I don't necessarily.
They're not white?
Well, yeah, they're white. I'm just saying there's a lot of comedian spots I don't hit that are around town that are still very white, but they ain't talking like me. I don't feel like I hear no jokes and no premises.
The, niggas joke.
No, I don't say it yet. I got to get it better. I only said it in front of all them white folks, man, because if you go and say something testy like that, that's like I had a guy last night, an old dude.
Laughed? The white crowd laughed?
No.
Oh, they didn't laugh either?
Sir Cedric did. Sir Cedric was there. He liked it. He thought it was a good bit. But it's how you present it. It's the confidence behind it. It's the...
How many times do you present a joke where you feel like, okay, I need to scrap this joke? Not that one, just any joke. Or like, it's just not funny? Or like, how many times do you present the joke before you say, okay, this is not funny? Or do you find it like, I got it. That's how I need to say it. Like, and how does that work? Is it that easy? Does it play like that? Or you got to switch things up sometimes?
I think that doing these competitions with Sir Cedric has given me more opportunities to find different bits and different ways of telling my stories in joke form. And that has helped me figure out more of what I feel like meshes together. I ain't gonna say I ditch a lot of it yet because I don't really know what could be and couldn't be still because I'm still an amateur. But I do think I've been able to form better sets with my jokes and get somewhere as presenting something.
How many sets do you have? If somebody called you tomorrow and said, look, I got $250 for you. Just come down. I want you to do a 7-minute set.
Oh, I could do that. I got 3 of them.
So why you struggle with doing 5 minutes the other day?
Because you want to.
I'm not asking you to put you on the spot. I'm asking just to kind of gain information.
I think if I would have, a previous Monday, I went to The Joint. Shout out to Pudgy, comedian Pudgy out in Columbia. There's an open mic up there at The Joint, downtown Columbia off Main Street. I did a 5-minute set about my autistic brother and some crowd work with them, people that went well. I went and done a premise base. 3 minutes was what I feel like in the moment I had for him. I'm not hurting. I'm not trying to win nothing. It was an opportunity for me to work something I want to work. I'm okay with eating that. I don't think it's like it's not, I wouldn't have done that for a show. I wouldn't have stopped.
Okay.
My time limit for a show is my time limit I'm required to do. But an open mic, you ain't gonna make me feel bad if I just produce an outcome that was positive for me, that I just got a return from.
Again, I don't do comedy, but I just want to bring something to your attention a little bit. I know I talk about art a lot, just approaching it a certain way. And comedy may be different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned something earlier. You said something like, you don't think about it. You just kind of go out there, right?
Right before, yeah. On open mics is different now. Open mics is a prepared set that you. When I say I don't think about it, go out there, it's like even.
So when you're not thinking about it, what is we talking about then?
So like last night's set was
That was open mic.
It was open mic, but it's a premise-based competition down at the Fox's Lair. They do it every Monday night where you could win like $50 or something like that. I didn't want to go to Columbia for an actual open mic, which is there's no premise, there's no nothing. You just get your 5 minutes, you say what you want to say, do your bits or whatever you want to do, and you get off stage after the light. That is what you get your work with because that's where you want to check your light. 4 minutes in, all right, I need to wrap up in a minute. You're practicing. That's a real open mic. Now, what they're doing with this competition is technically still an open mic because you're getting a week in advance to build off these premises. Alexa is plotting on me.
I'm not gonna lie.
So this down here is like each week they'll send out a premise. Like one of the weeks was
Nah, I'm sorry. I don't want to cut that part off. But I guess what I was asking was like your approach to anytime you go on stage. It just changes. You're saying based on what the agenda is. If it's to win a competition, it's one way. If it's open mic, it's another way. And if it's just I don't know, whatever.
Well, like Allen Iverson said, it's just practice. But it's all practice. You're still performing every time like you're performing on a show. Each time I perform, I'm still prepared for whatever I'm doing, whether it be the show, I've got my set I've lined up, or it's an open mic where I've got these ideas I want to talk about. But before I go up on stage, I don't want to be thinking about those things. So I want to have my brain clear to be funny.
I like that we're not on the same page with that because I do want to have that conversation. Because you use Iverson too. So Iverson would say that, right? It's just practice.
But all of it is though, even on stage.
But he was saying that in the sense of like, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to the game.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have Kobe who told Shaq, you should come to practice.
Yeah.
You got a 5-time champion versus a 0 champion. I love Iverson to death, by the way. I just feel like that I think the approach is super important.
It is.
Even when you think about it in that sense, like they approach the game so differently. Iverson is an amazing player, talented. Almost like one of the guys we talk about. Like he's super talented. But then you got people that just really put the work in.
But that's what I'm saying. But I don't mind the work because I got the result in the moment. I wasn't prepared for the outcome, what I got last night. I wasn't going to win. I was going for an opportunity to see what I could do with this premise. My 3 minutes gave me a good return.
But it was a competition.
For them, it was, not for me. They're not going to play my game with this. Yeah, it's not for me. I'm not going there. In my mind, if I go there and compete and I'm given 15 minutes compared to it, in my ego,
so when you hit the stage, I'm asking them, we not arguing. I just want to make sure. But because you said something earlier, you said you wanted to be the best white comedian.
Yes, that's where the white crowd is, right there at Fox Lair.
So why wouldn't you want to go there and win? Like,
I feel like I did.
How do you feel like? Okay, you feel like you were the best out there.
Yeah. Even with those 3 minutes, I feel like.
Did you win?
I ain't looking forward to it. I stopped on purpose. I know where I was like.
They did not announce a winner yesterday? They didn't announce a winner?
Yeah, I think Pete won. Pete Barlow won.
So you didn't win?
No.
Okay,
no,
you see.
No. All in due time, man.
I'm not dissing you. I'm just asking because I'm like.
Fucking bald-headed white dude.
He's funny though, right?
He is funny. He's like the Augusta Seinfeld.
I like Seinfeld. Black guys.
A lot of people like
love
Seinfeld.
Yeah. My favorite thing of him is not saying the N-word around everybody that said the N-word at one time.
You don't say it. I don't say it neither.
No, not. I'm not saying it. I'm saying like it was a skit or something where it was a bunch of white comedians. It was him. It was Chris Rock. It was a few other ones, and they always said the N-word.
Seinfeld.
He just didn't find it amusing. He was like,
yeah, I don't either. I don't find it amusing.
That's what's up.
Niggas though.
Is it amusing?
To me, that is because it's a real story.
It's a color.
It's a real story.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, I don't know. I looked it up. It says it's a hot porridge. I don't know.
Hot porridge.
Hot porridge. I
don't
mean
to say hot porridge.
I don't mean to like. I don't want it to look at it like I'm not taking care of my craft. I just look at.
Oh, I'm gonna be on your ass if you.
Yeah. I'm just saying like.
But I want you to approach it. I can't tell you what to do, but I would like you to approach that because now I'm curious to see how you would be.
Yeah.
If you approach it a certain way. Not saying you gotta wake up, eat, sleep, and shit comedy. I'm not saying that, even though you do it already.
It's what you should do.
But I feel like in this arena, like we in the podcast arena, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you take that seriously. I feel like you do. You call, you say, hey, I'm doing this. Like you be dotting your I's and crossing your T's.
I be trying.
But when you talk about comedy sometimes I feel like a little bit like you love comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like sometimes you treat podcasting way better than you treat comedy. Yeah, I could be wrong.
Because, okay, so the podcasting has more limits. I feel like comedy, I get to control and do exactly what I want to do. And I still haven't shown off all sides of me comedically.
How long you been doing comedy?
Over 3 years.
So what you rating on? Like, I'm not trying to get on you. I'm just asking.
I'm the type of person where I'm not, as you see me with the podcast, you see that I had put in a lot of work before I started. I had reached out to you. We got together before I started.
I put you on the spot.
I do. Yeah, shout out to, I always give my condolences to you, man, because you led me in the right direction.
Condolences is crazy. Condolences. That's a better word.
Oh, GD, sorry. Gratitude. My gratitude. But I do think that you have to take your craft seriously in the sense of what path you're on. You go biting off more than you want, you might get your ego hurt or you might miss opportunities. I understand my position and I like how
all that builds character.
Yeah, but and again, I'm winning in a different way. I don't have a fan base, so there's a different angle to me growing this comedy lane than other people. Like shout out to Sid, shout out to EJ, shout out to Black the Handicap. A lot of these other comedians that have actual followings. I don't have a following. I'm building everything from the ground up.
That's on you though. You could have one. You could have one.
Maybe.
You don't put no videos out. You could do comedy every week on your own if you wanted to.
But if you wanted to do comedy,
you could do 5-minute sets every week on your own if you wanted to. You got a camera, you got the whole setup.
It's not the same.
You could add effects to people that laugh. You could do it. You could do it. I do it every week, and you tell me I can do a comedian.
No.
So it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, you watch the podcast. You tell me, oh, you could be fun. You could be fun. You could do the same thing.
But you see that button you press. How does it make you feel when you press it?
Well, I feel like I'm funny regardless.
But how does it make you feel when you press that button?
Oh, right now?
Yeah, if you press the laugh, how does it make you feel?
Oh, I said I'm funny.
You just feel like you said something funny.
Yeah.
But when they laugh at you, you know it's funny.
And that's good.
That's the difference.
Reps though.
Reps.
But you hit the button.
It's not
hit the button in private. So when you're on that stage, them laughing, hitting the button. It's not the same, yes, but I'm saying it's still reps.
It is reps,
and it gives you an online presence. You say you don't have a following, but one thing I see Cedric, EJ, Black the Handicap, people you name, a lot of them do post their bits online or post funny things online, statuses online. And I joke a lot online. You know what I'm saying? So you can do it. You just haven't done it. That's all. You can do it though.
I am worried about my job. They already know who I am, and it's hard to already contain. My job is a factor, but at the same time, I don't
change your name.
Well, it's coming.
See, I can't change my name. Once I hit 5,000, I gotta change my name.
That's what it's gonna be. But I don't know. I think that I want to be prepared. I think I want to have. I don't like having my guns unloaded. I don't want to feel
that's a lot of white talk. I'm not. I want to say one thing. I'm not gonna lie.
I want to go into the school ready to kill Miss Bailey.
Whoa.
Sorry, that was too far. But I do want to be. It's
only too far because we didn't set Bailey name, Eric Bailey. Like, is it his mom? Or
not Mrs. Bailey. Shout out to Eric Bailey.
Like,
no, that was my 5th grade teacher that made me stand up and tell me I was retarded.
That sucks.
Yeah, on 9/11 too. Yeah. It was over, the focal point of the class was me being told I couldn't read over them watching the towers falling. So as they bombed, I bombed.
Look, man. But anyway,
yeah.
I want the best for you, of course, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I wondered how you maneuver with both feet in both lanes.
It's hard.
So you do a lot of pivoting, I see. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if
I try to use the podcast as much as I can. I try to use it. I have all these conversations with these comedians trying to get some game,
But your premise for your podcast wasn't even to be interviewing comedians. It was supposed to be for parenting and fatherhood.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. See how that changed?
I got memory.
I know. I still gonna get that one day.
Me and Slim talked about that. We were happy you changed it, actually, because we actually liked what you did, what you end up doing.
Yeah. Well,
everybody not as open to talk about fatherhood.
Right.
And also, everybody's not the father that they portray to be online. So when they talk about it in fatherhood, it's hard for them to talk about it. I know you probably don't get that yet, but as a father that actually does everything that I'm talking about, I be feeling it. I'm like, okay, he don't really be around his kids. Not you. I'm just, I'm like, oh, he don't. I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell because when somebody talking about it, like we just had comedy talk for almost an hour and some change. Second nature, because you do it every week.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
It's not hard.
Every day.
The conversation about your kids shouldn't be hard either.
Yeah, but I wish it would have though, because I was looking forward to trying not be a Jermaine, but I love how you talk about stuff and to have that type of conversation about fatherhood. So much of that was what it was built on, or wanting to do it because I saw the opportunity. But it just changed so quick, and I'm grateful for what it is. Don't get me wrong, but I will try and continue to work to be a better navigator to get to some of those conversations.
So
because they are important to me.
We talked about a lot of things in the last 40-some minutes, but I also feel like the fatherhood, the navigating conversations, for me, like I said, everybody different. It's also just in the approach. So I could sit here and tell you sometimes when I do think aloud, I don't think about what I'm gonna say sometimes.
Yeah.
But I kind of know. I don't know. But I never just come here just with nothing on my mind. It's impossible for me to record that way. You know what I'm saying? And then when you say the conversations, it's really just about listening to what somebody's saying and then kind of just picking at what I want to pick at as they talk. Sometimes you're talking, I'm like, okay, I got to cut them off now because I want to ask that question because I know that's going to pivot to something very, very important or open up a door that either hasn't been opened before, and that makes for better conversation as well. So
let me ask you this. How do you think it would benefit Augusta for all the comedians to work together on shows as just an Augusta show?
I think that'd be amazing because then you got all fan bases coming to the show. But it's hard when you got one fan base going to Riceboro Road, one fan base going downtown, one fan base trying to make both. One fan base can't make it because they can make it on Thursday, but they can't make it on this day.
Yeah.
So you miss out on a lot of opportunities when it should be, if we doing Miami Vibes on Tuesday, EJ, then everybody on Tuesday on Miami Vibes. If we doing Icons on Friday, everybody at Icons on Friday. Reason being, because now we all got y'all at a hub. It's at one spot. So for the consumer, I'm enamored. I get to see Tommy, EJ, whoever else, Cedric, all in one. But then now as a consumer, I gotta pick and choose. Like, okay, what day do I want to go out this week? I got kids, so what day can I get a sitter this week? Or what day do I feel like I'm gonna have an energy to go out to a comedy show this week? Then I pick the day, and maybe out of 50 people that would have came, we all had to make these same decisions subconsciously. And I don't know, 12 pick Tuesday, 12 pick Friday. The other, that's 24, 26 people. Other 26 people just said, F it, I ain't going. Because it's too much thought. We done missed out on 26 people coming to the show. 26 extra laughs. 26 extra decibels
heads.
In a room.
Heads.
Tickets.
I call them heads.
Whatever it is.
Chicken heads.
You stupid. So I do think you missing out by not having the unity. But I'm glad we talked about the podcasting sense. We were rapping a second about the podcasting.
I ain't no rush. You good?
I feel like we have, and honestly, everybody don't get along in podcasting. I'll tell you that. But we have more of a camaraderie than comedians, and it's really insane because we all do different stuff. But if you told me tomorrow, like, yo, I'm working on a show in January, it's a podcast show, I guarantee you, me, Slim, anybody got a podcast right here, it would be easy for us to put our heads together and make a show.
Yeah, figure something out. Yeah,
it wouldn't be no problem. Well, I wouldn't even care about headline. That wouldn't bother me. We're gonna do this. And this
I will say this though. Here's the thing: we better get it in gear, especially with the comedians I've came up with. I hope that we don't miss this opportunity. From what I understand, there will be a comedy club coming to Augusta.
For what? Why would they do that though? I'm just curious. I'm sorry.
I don't know. And it's gonna be at some boot tootin' place, I guess. One of them country ass white folks place. One of them bars downtown or something.
Not to cut you off. It don't make sense to me because I feel as though it's a hard enough job trying to sell out the open mics that's already here.
No, shows, not open mics. There ain't no open mics.
Okay, what shows?
Shows. Those are shows.
Oh, I'm sorry. So more popular comedians are going to be coming down here then, I guess. Is what you're telling me?
It depends on, I don't know what a comedy club is. Okay. I've never been a part of a comedy club.
You might want to look into that since you're a comedian.
But they're probably going to be open mic nights and there'll probably be shows regularly. And if it is, not probably.
It's already there. It's already.
If we don't show ourselves in an accessible way to them to be local, features or acts, they're probably going to pull from out of town.
I'm sorry, I'm lost. Like that everything
makes
you
no
just
sense.
said is
It's right here
because I know I get it at clubs, but it's already a comedy events that aren't successful. I'm gonna be
Some
blunt.
of them are.
I'm
Now. I
sorry.
ain't gonna lie. Some of them are.
I haven't seen a lot of them.
I've seen said empty out.
I don't want to say
icons.
names, but I've been to a few
Yeah.
in the last couple of years. I've seen one successful comedy show,
I think that
and it was this past Friday.
yeah, it was a good one. And it's hard too when you have to.
What's successful for a comedy show? I'm sorry, man. I could be wrong. What's successful?
Well, I think that
It
all
should-
your
it should be
comedians,
full, right?
Yep, I think you
Okay.
should have majority of a crowd.
So that already cancels out almost every show I've been to.
Yes, I think that it needs to have a majority outlook that it was a positive show. Like you say, Eric may not have done great, but the other two comedians may have pulled their weight and made it go still be a great show. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But if it's a good enough show where they'd be like, I had fun. If it was worth their money, then it was a good show. And then I think that when you have the good host and every comedian does their part, it's a good show. You can have.
What about? Cause I written these events out. It's still a business side to this.
Yeah.
So we could sit here and say, oh, Toys R Us was a success, but they wasn't a success because they bankrupt.
Yeah.
So
A lot of shows.
so the
go
business
bankrupt.
side. Yeah. So I feel like for me, if I'm the host or I'm paying money and renting or whatever, that is a big reason why a show be successful. How much money did I make tonight?
Yeah.
Because if I lost money, it's not successful. I don't care who had a good time.
You say that. I'm gonna say this. I'm looking forward to maybe creating a show. I don't know when you're gonna put this out. Probably sooner than later. But I've got to figure out how to promote. I've got to figure out how to get the feet on the ground now to put ideas in place to continue to promote so that it has a return. Because if not, then it is just me hoping dreams, paying some comedians to come down for an opportunity that ain't nothing but a hole in the pocket.
And it seems like that happens a lot in a lot of areas where people are doing these. I just feel like as a podcaster, it's insane me saying this because that's super oversaturated. I feel like a comedy might be oversaturated, but I also feel like there isn't much room for you guys to do anything besides open mics sometimes.
Well, here's the thing about that. The OGs that I talk to, Duke Des Dunes up in Atlanta. I talk to Cedric a lot. I talk to a lot of guys I've met out of town. A lot of people I see putting in some work if I talk about something. There's a lot of shit I don't know, but it is planned. Good shows are planned. Good shows are put off in time where it makes sense. Right now, it don't make sense to do shows unless you know you got a turnaround that's going to come out, right? The holidays, people spending money. They ain't going to come out for you now. You got to be worth something for me to come and waste my time after I done spent all this money on the kids. But come January, tax time, motherfuckers ready to spend money. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these ways other comedians outside of Augusta talk about promotion, about producing, about filling a room is a completely different mindset than what we have here.
I would love to see a show with Augusta comedians, and it's not necessarily for competitive standpoint, but I do want to know who's funny, who's not funny. I'm just gonna be real with you.
I would love to see a full Augusta competition out of us.
I like to see that too, but
10 weeks.
To me, y'all don't have to compete because y'all being on the same stage in the same event going to tell me all you need to know. Because if you can't approach that stage the way you need to approach it when you got your peers around you, it's almost like basketball, like AAU. You know, you playing the best of the best. So or the park. It's like the park on Saturday. Everybody coming to Diamond Lakes. Okay, we in Diamond Lakes, so I need to show out.
Yeah.
My leg hurt, my feet. Okay, I need to show out because you all playing. This is where I'm showing the separation of my peers versus me.
Yeah. Well, that's what I hated about the competition last year was HB the Great didn't get to show up a lot. EJ didn't get to show up a lot. A lot of comedians, sometimes it can be difficult.
That's what you're saying.
But those
people
would be competitors.
People run away from competition sometimes.
But that would be good competition for me. To know about the people I'm around and I come talking comedy with, to see their reactions, their judging, to see how their approaches get returned on, and have that judgment of not am I better than you, but where do we stand together as a group? How are we making each other better? Where can we work? And, because there's a lot of shit going on in competitions where we're all there in one spot performing. That's the key thing that I don't feel like if you're going to do it, yeah, it's open mic. Yeah, it's a show. Yeah, but each time is a fucking performance. It don't matter if you fucking fall to the face first or You got all crowd. You still should be doing your very best at producing that time to give them all you can. That's my mentality of it. I think any comedian should be doing that because that's how you build your confidence. But it's still,
I like that, Tommy, that you just said that. I want you to do that too.
but that's still me doing the 3 minutes last night.
No, I agree with that.
That's still me doing it.
I agree with that.
I had I'm in a kryptonite place where I don't get good laughs hardly in Foxlair, and I got laughs every 25 seconds for 3 minutes. I consistently got, I think, 8 to 9 laughs.
Did you record it?
It will be posted. No, I did not.
Okay, so I got to ask that question.
They did.
What's making you comedians? I'm gonna say y'all. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can say it now. You people, right? Making you people not record y'all comedy session, y'all comedy, and then it's like sometimes not everybody, but when I do see one, it's like I don't know. What make you not post the comedy? The 5 minute sets, 3 minute sets. What make you not mic up like you got a mic right here? Give your phone to somebody and say, "Hey, just hold it for me, record it."
I'd like to be creative like that and put some stuff.
You can do it.
I wouldn't do stand up. You know why? Because I do know that there are joke stealers around Augusta. I do know that premises will be took. I do not believe anyone will say some of the shit I say it the way I say it.
But you just mentioned you didn't have a following. But
I don't have a
how are
following.
you gonna
Other
get it
people
in
do.
today's age without social media?
But premises matter, and if you if you make it easy enough,
If you post it first, somebody steal it. You could say I posted it this day, November 2nd,
I ain't dealing with all that.
2024.
I'm here to work with my craft. I ain't trying to deal with theirs.
What's your sign?
I'm a Pisces. Well, no, they changed, right?
Nah, you're a Pisces. I
Yeah,
can
I'm a
tell.
Pisces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only got one day in Black History Month.
You don't have a day at all, but I
Yeah,
got
it's
you.
28th, but I don't claim it still.
That's funny. That is funny. That's a good birthday to have.
But
Though.
2 Chainz come out with that song and got it sitting on 28th in February or something like that. I was like, oh yeah, he's at my birthday. That's the only shout out I felt good about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just,
Comedy's hard.
I want the best for everybody, man. It's
Yeah.
hard for me to take excuses. Not saying you giving it to me. It'd be hard because I be feeling like the way I look at people and the way I approach to certain things, I know you got it in you to do that. Like
Well, a lot of it is time for me. And a lot of it, like, do you want to, like some guys take like months off. Some guys take that stretch. I can't do that. I want to continue to get better. So like, I'll go maybe 2-3 weeks where I ain't got no open mic. I got to go, babe. I got to go. Where can I go tonight? I got to drive somewhere and do something. And if I do believe some of my jokes and some of my stuff hinders me. Like I've talked to you before. I don't want to be the hindering podcast buddy that cripples somebody else's platform because of how I talk or what I say. Same thing goes with comedy. I don't expect to be called upon until I'm ready to be called upon.
I feel
In
like
due time.
I just feel like with confidence, you just know. Like even on a podcast with you, we just did a podcast today, and right now I could put the audio out tomorrow. I don't feel no way about nothing you said. I don't feel no way because I feel like anything that you may say or have said or whatever that somebody would, I easily controlled that narrative and just made it funny or kind of sit out. It's not hard to do. You know what
But
I'm
I'm
saying?
here on your platform trying to be contained too. We ain't talking about, abortions and clothes hangers.
If we did, I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
I would, or we can have a dialogue back and forth because we can not be on the same page and still have dialogue back and forth, and it'll still make great content because of what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, but you navigate it better. Comedy's, I'm letting loose just random shit though. That's like with the fight night episode I had. I think I would have had a lot better angle being comical with you, Slim, my brother, and just one rapper versus 3 rappers that were looking to show off their craft. Or one dude definitely wanted to show off his craft because he's apparently heard what I did with Lou Life, and it just changed everything.
How I am with rappers, bro.
Yeah.
I think they just a bad recipe for everything.
I'd be jealous. I'm Eminem. Fuck Eminem.
I started to start this off with Patiently Waiting with 50 Cent Eminem. He started with he said, "Yo, Em, you know my favorite white boy, right?" I was gonna say that, but
That's
then I
okay.
said, "Damn, I do know a lot of white guys now, so I have to pick a favorite at some point."
You got to pick a favorite. Better be
Yeah.
me. Brandon will be jealous though.
Brandon wouldn't be jealous. It's not Brandon. I can tell you that right now.
It's not Brandon.
It's not Brandon. That's my guy, but he knows it's not him. No.
I can't believe he hit that front flip he did for me the other day though.
Yeah, I was doing
That's a big boy.
white boy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have felt good to feel at home.
No,
I
I'm
kind
not
of feel
doing
like you one of the very few white guys I know. I just feel like you don't feel white when I'm talking to you.
I do.
Except the I want to say N word. Other than that, I don't see I just feel like I don't know, you feel to me like talking to you. I don't feel I'm talking to a white guy. I'm just talking to
That's how I
homies.
like it to be. I want it to be that way because I try to pass that on my kids too. Of not saying that's the narrative I actually pursue to be, but it's how we should feel. I feel like it shouldn't be about nothing extra than that. Just be having a conversation.
Interesting, man. Interesting. Well, yeah, I enjoyed the talk of comedy. I got so I don't mind. I feel like I need to do it to kind of just put some of y'all on like when y'all do y'all good thing.
I say you do it just to do it. I say just for yourself.
Yeah,
it ain't even about being a comedian.
I'm also competitive though. I like to step in lanes that I'm not supposed to step in, and then tell people I can only step in them lanes. But I also like to get learn and get humble sometimes too, because I'm like, okay, now I can speak differently.
I think you should do it so that you could produce something different and make something different.
Who knows?
And maybe create something outside of the podcast of thinking out loud or whatever, and have a show. You already have such a good presence with control and with engagement and being able to pick the right topics and leading in conversation that you got on stage to be funny. All you'd have to do is just figure out a routine and you could produce something.
Sounds good.
It does.
I feel like right now you sounding like the HR, like when you on your onboarding for your job and they tell you all the good thing about the job. And then you finally get there, it's like, okay, you didn't say this shit was.
I didn't say how stressful it was.
You didn't tell me this manager's not really a good manager. You didn't tell me that person don't do no work. But you know that's how they get you at jobs. They tell you all the good stuff. Yeah, can we do this? And that guy can help you. And he ain't shit.
I will say this though, before we cut off, I will say this. I do feel like a lot of us comedians, this is to EJ Rogers' settlement, or to both the guys in the shows that put on shows regularly around town. It does seem like it's just us and the show. It does seem like it's more work than what it's cut out to be to try and produce a show. When you are the comedian on the show, when you are the host on the show, when you're a part of it and you still got to do all that other headache to get it in, and there's not that middle ground for you.
I ain't trying to be an asshole. I just feel like just find somebody else to host a show.
Yeah.
And then be a comedian.
Yeah.
Almost like if we did the podcast and you was like, we wanted to just be podcasters, I'm going to call out somebody, hey, I want you to film.
Yeah.
So we ain't got to be film guys. We get to be podcasters.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's doable if you just sit down. Once again, it come with a team. So, but you got to take your ego out of it. You got to be willing to listen to the advice. Like, I'm telling you stuff and you on that side. Some stuff probably ain't even, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's not a thing, Jermaine. It's not a thing.
Some of it is, some of it ain't though. It just depends.
But you taking it in.
Yeah,
so you got to be able to take it in.
It's one of those things, you got to hear it and soak up what you're supposed to soak up from it. Because when we took you into the comedy side, it's going to be different for you than it is for me. It's going to be different from Rogers.
I would feel comfortable at a show where it's not a real comedian actually hosting per se, but we tell them, hey, it's your job. You're going to make sure this you got 10 minutes, make sure and then we got real comedians there. And then when you at 11-minute mark, the person say, hey, come on, all right, that was such and such. All right, good. I'm fine with that. I want to see comedians be comedians sometimes. Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes.
That's what it's supposed to do.
And I do think y'all should rotate hosting. It ain't got to be the same 2 people every week. What happens is they oversaturate stuff, we get tired with them, and then now we stop going out.
Who's going to cover that? That means we got to cover it if we want to fill up. Because
sound like you.
Yeah, that's what it is. You got to pay to play.
Sometimes you gotta step up and just do stuff.
Yeah,
so you might not want to host, but it might be your Thursday to host.
No, not yet.
You never know.
See, I'm taking my baby steps.
Why stand down? It's just hosting.
Because I understand.
You can hone your skills hosting because you can freestyle in. You ain't got to have a set. You just got to make sure you're funny enough, a small bit, funny enough a little bit, just to get the person off the stage and get the next person on the stage.
No, that's not necessarily true. Technically, you're supposed to do about 3 to 5 minutes.
I'm charging for hosting, but just hire me. I host.
host.
I'll host anything.
All right.
Definitely will.
I'll take you up on it if I make it work.
I'm charging once again, but yeah.
We'll talk about it. But it is more than just bringing up
TTMasters@gmail.com for booking.
Yeah. You gotta do bits in between. You gotta keep them engaged.
Okay.
It ain't hard. You
could tell a story. It's a bunch of different ways.
There's a bunch of ways to do it.
You could react with the crowd.
I don't want to do it.
It's a bunch of different ways you could do it. You don't have to just be funny. You could just react. You just have to be entertaining.
We need you to put on the show then, and we'll come be your comedian.
Pay the money. I'm good. I'm pay the money. That's it. Booking. MoreTTMasters@gmail.com. Yeah. I'm telling you right.
I got to be the booker. You got to be the booker. Damn it.
It's booking for that. It's a lot of go to Google and type in Augusta booking. If people book.
No, I got to be the booker apparently.
Oh, be that too.
That's the bad thing about it. You don't have anyone looking out to book. It doesn't seem like there's not managed. I don't see them. I know there are people managing.
Once you guys, comedians, make comedy shows, open mics, whatever, profitable, and just more of a vibe,
Yeah.
it won't be hard to book nobody.
Yeah. But you got to come together.
It's hard to book. It's hard. It's for guys, it's free, but for us, like we go into the rec, right? And everybody there, and we say, yo, come through, nobody there. It's kind of hard. Anybody at the gym. Who all there? That's what people saying for the open mic. Who all there? Who?
Yeah.
Anybody know who Tommy is? Because Tommy gonna put a material out online. Then, you got, this person might not show up. This person, he may come. It's like a lot.
Let me ask you that. You say that. Like, why should I give the people the material? I want to know why you think they deserve to see my set when they ain't even willing to pay me on show.
I see the problem already.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I know. You're saying that why they deserve?
Yeah, because
you're the comedian.
Well, okay, it goes both ways. I'd have to deserve their return. And if I don't got heads coming to the show to get on the shows.
It only go one way.
No.
It don't go both ways.
I don't see the return in posting.
Okay.
I don't.
So you've never online ran into a comedian that you liked when you seen something online first? You never seen him in person. You just saw him online. Never?
Yeah. I know. I'm with you.
That's the return. We can stop there.
But I'll say this.
So how you
those are professional comedians.
And what are you?
I'm an amateur comedian.
So you don't think they started off amateur?
I don't think they were posting then. No.
You don't know that.
I do.
How you know?
I think the majority
No.
professional
How do you know? How do you know? How you know they were posting?
I believe them.
You think they just woke up one day and just came a pro and said, you know what? Now I'm a post, man. This is the perfect time to start posting.
The professional comedians get specials and post the things they want limited out. This whole idea that we can just put out these premises week after week after week and that's comedy, maybe, but I don't think that's going to be the return you're going to get on stage with it. If you're doing it like I'm saying, like in front of a camera, just doing it.
You asked me why I think people deserve it.
I don't see a return in it. Not yet.
But you're not gonna see it if so you put something out. Let's say the chance, let's say it go viral. Now people want to know who you are. They want to see you.
Yeah.
The Tommy from this video, it's like saying it's no return on getting a Grammy. It's no return on being an Oscar nominee.
Man, you feeling this head up here, man. I ain't this far yet.
Nah, you're not thinking right. You thinking Augusta, but you be thinking America.
I think that we're all supposed to walk the path, like I told you before in this process. We all got paths to walk. You can walk the path
and think.
Yeah, but I don't mind the time it takes to walk it.
Yeah, I'm not rushing the process.
Yeah, I'm not rushing.
I just want you to upload a video. I'm not rushing the process. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying upload the whole thing. I'm saying the best. If you said 25 seconds, you got last. If it's 30 seconds,
yeah,
you can put in there. That's a reel.
Yeah,
that's a replay value.
Again,
you just don't know what it is.
But that value to me is more important.
The
value to me to keep those jokes versus posting them are more important right now.
But you think about it getting to a club owner, whatever. Hey, I want you to come do a show in Jacksonville this weekend. We'll pay you $500.
See, you ahead of me. I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
I can't be ahead of you. You got to be there.
I'm saying it. You're saying that me posting that is going to get me that opportunity.
Possible.
I'm thinking, and my approach with it is, I'm earning my opportunities first, building a foundation. Then I will allow people to see.
Okay. You're not American.
No, I don't.
In America, we just take it. We got to take it. You got chances, right?
Right.
And you're going to take them.
I'm not Eminem.
You are, though.
I'm the white dude.
Yeah, you definitely are.
I'm the white dude. But that's how I feel about it, though. For us, it's the other way for me. I want to earn those spots, and I want to be called upon first. I want to feel that connection to the game of, okay, we leveling up. And once I've leveled up to where I feel like shows are a more rep than versus an open mic, and I'm getting that, then I feel like I've earned that spot to be like, look, this is my comedy. This is my comedy. Till now, I feel like I have that lane to produce that outcome in podcast right now because I've put in.
If you're going to do that, then I feel like the clips you put out podcast-wise should be funny clips, all of them.
Yeah.
But you funny. I don't mean like your guest being funny. I mean like I'll be doing something on my story. I mean, when I joke on a guest, I put up my story all the time. I don't want to make it fun, like I'm making fun of them, but it's on your story. Like you're funny, like showing that you can be funny. It's like, yo, Tommy's, he's funny. You know, I want to go watch him show. You know, that's all I'm saying. You know, but you going, they say to stand, you can't bring every horse to the pond and let them drink. You know,
you can't take a horse to the water, but you can't make him like drink.
It's not about a horse and water. You know, I don't know.
That's not what they said about the horses where I grew up.
That sound like a.
Purple waffle
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means.
and black tank.
I'm still not following.
Horses got black coochies until they get on the inside.
Why do you know this? I'm lost.
Just the farm days. Just talking about just a reference.
But
Just
I feel like
taking
you
it.
know it. They're like, did you touch a horse? So I'm like,
Oh yeah, I had to put my hand in one before. Doing what the people tell you to do with the little glove on and shit.
can't relate. No.
Yeah.
No. I eat steak though, but that's a cow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gave up pigs. So
That's bacon.
yeah, I don't do it.
Okay. But you
Yeah.
didn't give up horses.
Well, they use horse for a lot of shit, man. They use horses for a lot of shit.
I know horses shit a lot.
Man, they put it on their lips. The girls do. That ain't nothing but cow hooves, bro. And horse hooves.
Look, this was great, man. This was a good conversation. I like talking. We do more of these. I
don't mind it.
We got more comedy talk. I want to sit down with you and a comedian one time. I want to get to the bottom of why y'all be, because I feel like sometimes I feel like comedians be lazy. It's just me though. I'm not a comedian, so I don't know. But I low-key feel like y'all lazy.
I do have my moments.
Definitely you, but
I have my
I
moments.
definitely feel like a lot of comedians is lazy, and y'all could be way further ahead. So sometimes y'all might say, you might use the excuse on you walking the line, but I feel like sometimes you stop and tie your shoe a lot too.
Yep. I got other shit that are priorities.
You got a chair in your back, you just sit down and just flop the chair.
Because I tell you this, you got guys that will travel and go to Greensboro. I don't know if that's North Carolina,
They
South
grinding.
Carolina. They be going out and moving and finding spots to hit up. It is hard, man. And I'll say this, it is hard to find time when you got life going so hard too.
Oh yeah.
So it's different when some other people don't necessarily have the same weight on their shoulders or got the same.
Imagine you have like
So-
a camera and like some studio equipment, and like a room and a chair you can sit in and be
Yeah.
like, you know what?
Yeah.
Damn, life is going hard. I can't make it to Greensville, but
Look,
maybe I can take
can't.
5 steps in my living room and just do
I'd
some
be
comedy.
nervous to go live.
I started to go live today, but
I don't even
be
know
here,
how to
so
go live. I still got to get you over the house to show me how to go live.
It's the button you press on your Facebook.
Yeah,
It's the
but I
red
can't
button.
do it off the iPad. That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I do be getting nervous about some of that stuff because I want to be prepared. I want to be professional as I can be at all these avenues. So I appreciate you letting me talk my side of it. I am an amateur comedian that is progressing, and I will be in local shows.
Progression
and
is
shows near you.
debatable, but yeah.
But look, I look at it like this: if you got a dream, you can make it. And one day, I will be in one of these theaters in Augusta.
Now you being American.
I will be.
That's America right there.
I will
That's what I'm
be
talking
in
about.
one of these theaters in Augusta one day.
I wish the best for you, of course, and I think that you put your best foot forward, you be good to go. So
Yeah.
I think you'll be all right. So yeah, man. Dope conversation, man. Nice hat, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, this was good.
DJ
Hopefully-
wore red. I figured I'd wear blue since it was politic month, right?
I don't know about that, but
I don't know. I just
So-
figured, yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong being a crip.
Yeah, I'm a Crip, baby. I can't do that.